welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 286. My name's Adam Patterson. I'm joined today by Kevin Rakestraw. How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm in Georgia right now, so if my audio sounds a bit different, it's because I'm using a little bit of a portable setup that I brought with me, so apologies for any lack of quality to hear from my end.
Show's on the road.
Yeah. Here for a wedding, family wedding, so kind of came down for the wedding, and then we're going to stay a couple extra days. We're at the beach right now, so there's supposed to be like there's like a tornado watch right now, and it's supposed to start raining and storming and stuff, but as of right now, it's still pretty nice out.
All right, because here it went from yesterday being 90 degrees to today being freezing cold with like freezing rain. And it's not even, it's weird because it's not really raining where I am. It's just super windy and there's just water in the wind. If that makes sense.
Oh, the old water wind. The classic water wind. Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, the weather has been hellish. Down here, it's been okay. Like the first day that we were here, we came down on Wednesday. It wasn't that warm. I mean, it was definitely warmer than back up north. But then like Thursday and yesterday were okay. Friday was okay. But it's pretty nice out now. Like I can go out on the beach. Like the water's way too cold, but the beach is still pretty nice. So it's been a nice, relaxing trip thus far.
Good.
Yeah. This week on the show, we'll be talking about Lynne Ramsey's latest You Were Never Really Here, along with someone we'll be watching on the watch list, previewing some new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for listening. Now, I talked about You Were Never Really Here a little bit last week on the show, and my prediction, if I recall, was that you were not going to be a fan of this one, even though you liked some of her previous films. You liked, we need to talk about Kevin, you liked Ratcatcher, and you liked that earlier one she did that I always forget the name of.
Yeah, with Warren Killar.
Yes,
which I think that was their second film.
Yes.
Yeah, I've liked everything so far up until this point. But guess what?
So we'll start it. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me read the synopsis before we get into it. So this is the one that stars Joaquin Phoenix. I have the synopsis here. A traumatized veteran unafraid of violence tracks down missing girls for a living. When a job spins out of control, Joe's nightmares overtake him as a conspiracy is uncovered, leading to what may be his death trip or his awakening. Either one. We don't really know at the beginning.
No in between. No possible in between here. It's one or two ends.
It's either a death
spectrum.
trip or an awakening.
That's it. No in between.
So, was my prediction correct?
Yes, it was 100% correct. I did not like this. It got off to a good start. I will say that. Early on.
So the film opens with him rescuing a girl. So it's quickly established like what his profession is.
And just the way that she goes about it is, him just kind of like tidying up afterwards, and then I love the how the camera like comes down into the lobby and comes around the corner and kind of tilts and sees the cop car, and then kind of dips back behind the corner and pulls back far enough that it's now behind Joaquin Phoenix. Like a lot of the filmmaking towards the beginning, I was just like, I'm in. I like this already, especially him in the taxi with the taxi driver and how he's kind of singing along to the song and how they do the title sequence. I thought was fantastic. And then even, kind of earlier on too with like the well, even throughout, actually, I thought the sound design was fantastic, and the sound editing with his kind of flashbacks and the
Mm-hmm.
PTSD and everything. I thought that was done
Yeah.
exceptionally well. I enjoyed Johnny Greenwood's score, um,
Yeah.
but like this is nothing. Like I don't know if it's more of a fault of the the material that it's based on, because it is, this surprised the hell out of me, that this is based on a book written by Jonathan Ames, who's the guy behind Bored to Death.
Bored to death. Yeah.
What I I mean, like a large part of me wants to just put most of the blame on him, I think, because this is just such a nothing of a story.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's just not a lot going on here. I appreciated sort of what they were going for with it.
Yeah,
I like the idea of this sort of tortured soul who can really only derive any kind of. It doesn't even seem like he derives any kind of satisfaction out of life by doing this job. It just seems like that's what keeps him from just killing himself.
yeah,
Basically, that gives him a reason to wake up every
yeah.
day.
And I mean,
I sort of like that, and I like the sort of the broad concept of a man who does this for a living. Like that's pretty intriguing.
yeah,
But like you said, they just don't really do that much with it. When like the sort of the main plot, him rescuing this girl and then what happens afterwards, unfortunately, like the whole conspiracy thing, like it says in the synopsis, it's not that interesting at all.
no,
Like there's no big twists or revelations. There's a twist, but it's not interesting.
no, and that's a weird turn of events too. It's because like it is a conspiracy, but at the same time it's not, because it's not
Yeah,
dealt with as a conspiracy. Nothing's uncovered, really.
right.
It's just, he has no idea what's going on. We really don't know what's going on too much. Out of like, they give you like broad strokes. Like everything in this movie is just broad strokes, really.
Here's a specific thing that I didn't really quite get. So he gets hired to find the daughter of a senator, right?
Hmm.
And the senator's like, all I have to go on is this text message with an address. And it's like, did I miss something in that? Who sent that? Who sent the text message with the exact address of the girl for him to just go pick her up?
Yeah, it's bizarre
Was
because
it like like somebody within the house, like an informant type thing, or did the daughter somehow obtain a phone and send it, or
I
what? Like, what was the deal with that?
I don't know. I don't know really, because you almost got the sense that it was perhaps a setup, but
But
the people at the
that's what I
house were
thought.
they were not prepared at all. It's like no one told the people at the house that they're like, oh, by the way, we're
Yeah,
setting this guy up, because
like
they're
I
just
thought it was a
hanging out
setup
like
at
nothing's
first
going on.
too.
Yeah,
I thought it was a setup at first too, but I didn't understand what the point of the setup
yeah,
was. Like,
because
I didn't really see what the end game was there.
when the and I'm using air quotes, you can't see me though, when the conspiracy is uncovered, you immediately assume, okay, the senator that hired him, he had to know what was going on. Like it just sounded like this is something that they always did.
Yeah,
So
that's what I wasn't sure about. I didn't know if he was aware that this was happening or what.
he totally
And
was.
if he really wanted to even get his daughter back.
Yeah, I don't, I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's not interesting. I mean, like you said, there is a slightly intriguing angle with him. And I mean, I do like the way in which it's handled with his PTSD and his flashbacks. Like like I said, the sound design with like the voices and how you would hear the voices in his head, kind of, and he would react to them, and then there would be the flashbacks that were kind of jolting and everything. But even that just felt, again, it's broad strokes, where like the stuff with his dad, you really don't get a sense of what's going on there because the flashbacks don't really show you much. And then the stuff of him being deployed overseas, you don't really get a sense of. And then with, I guess, was he working for like the FBI or something? With the women in the tractor trailer?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who he was working for during that whole operation.
Yeah, it just seems like a really just rudimentary kind of depiction of PTSD. Just for the sake of like, to justify him and his ball peen hammer.
And his predilection for suffocating himself.
Yeah. That's what it just... and then the end to me, it was that kind of pissed me off, too.
A little, yeah, it was pretty abrupt.
It just felt cheap, too. It was just, with them sitting at the diner, and I did like how, like, all the voices came in, when she left the table, and you just kind of hear everyone. But then it was just cheap with, like, what happens and then what doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. I think that this was maybe a little bit of style over substance. I like a lot of the look. I love the Johnny Greenwood score. I thought that the way that they handle, I mean, it's a violent movie. It's a movie that I think handles violence in a really interesting way, where, like I said last week, you don't necessarily see all of the violence taking place. A lot of what you see is sort of the aftermath of the violence,
and especially in the house, when he infiltrates the house, how it's just what you're seeing is the security footage, and it's just like cycling through the cameras, so you don't always pick up with what's going on.
And I really liked that. I think a lot of times that makes it more impactful when you see it in that way.
Yeah.
But so in that regard, I mean, I did like the movie. Okay, I thought it was all right, but at this point, I'm like 2 weeks removed from it, and I'm already forgetting large chunks of it, and it's definitely not going to be one that really sticks with me, that's for sure.
No, and it just, again, it feels, I don't want to say
so like they're like Joaquin Phoenix's character, like they did attempt to develop that character with the flashbacks, and I thought that the flashbacks were done in I like how they did that, because it was almost this kind of surreal, trippy, like nightmarish these flashbacks that he was dealing with. So I think that there was, and then plus they established like his relationship with his mom. So I think that there was like character development there, but I frankly didn't find his character that interesting. Like, he just didn't seem like that interesting of a character to spend time with. To begin with, like he's very soft spoken. He doesn't have a lot of dialogue, and then like, of course, the girl he rescues barely speaks 2 words the entire movie.
Yeah.
So the dialogue is very sparse. So you said there's not a lot to latch on to with that either.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I mean, and like you said, I was impressed with the way the flashbacks were handled. Because it did really, it gave you this sense of like how they had, kind of capturing how they would creep into his mind and kind of take over, and how he would fight back against it. But again, it just felt like an excuse for him to hit people with a hammer.
Yeah, pretty much. Wonder how he chose the hammer. Was that
his dad?
Oh yeah. That's right.
He's got this attachment to a ball peen hammer. All he knows is violence. He's known violence his entire life. That's all he knows.
He's just bathed in violence from an early age.
It's the only fucking language he speaks is violence.
Kicking ass.
Just crushing people's skulls.
Crushing heads. Alright, so that's You Were Never Really Here. Not a big fan of the title either, honestly.
No.
A little bit of a blah title.
This is a disappointment. And the thing that, like, this irritates me. This isn't a part of the movie. But I'm on the IMDb page, right? As I usually do for note purposes. And, like, the little poster thing on the side has a hashtag bring the hammer. Where it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that just doesn't fit with the movie. Like, I understand the hammer, but this isn't like a genre action film. Like,
this is a serious, like, art house thriller.
Or at least it's trying.
I don't even know if I'd call it a thriller. It's like just a violent drama.
Yeah, it just feels kind of sick to be like, hashtag bring the hammer. You know, ball peen hammer that's crushing people's skulls in.
Yeah, I mean the violence in this movie is never glorified, and it is very realistic and brutal, and nothing in this movie is light. You know, there's some comedic moments, but they're very few and far between, and they're never centered around violence.
No, and I just want to know who okayed this. It was like, yes, put it on there.
Some marketing person at Amazon Studios, I guess.
Hashtag bring the hammer.
Yeah, that's
orbitals.
Awful. It's so awful.
What the fuck, man?
Oh my god.
I gotta check Twitter now to see who's using hashtag bring the hammer.
Alright. Let's give this a score. I'm gonna give it a... Man, see now, after talking about it, I realized that I didn't say that much positive about it, but I gave it a 6.
That happens. You know, it happens. I would also like to point out that I guess I can't do a review on the podcast without pointing out the runtime, but I was really excited going in because I was like, damn, another short movie. This is fucking great. Love this trend. This is like... But this is a slog. Yeah. It does not feel like an hour and a half.
It really is. It really is. It's only 90 minutes, but it feels... I don't know it definitely feels longer.
Mm-hmm.
But I will agree. I think that there is a trend with these shorter runtimes. A lot of these movies are clocking in right at 90 minutes. And I don't know if I said it on the air. I think I told you off the air. I saw Michael Tully's new movie, and he introduced it at the screening I went to, and he was very proud to announce that he cut it down to 90 minutes just because he knew that everyone was tired of really long run time, so he made sure that his movie was exactly 90 minutes. I appreciated that.
Yeah, I hope more people do that.
So what are you going to give this thing?
I give it like a 4.
4 out of 10.
4.5.
4.5, okay.
Hashtag
so You Were Never Really Here. You Were Never Really Here is playing in limited release right now. It is an Amazon Studios movie, so I would expect to see it. So it's in select cities now. It opens wide April 20th, so it'll probably be playing in your area April 20th, and then probably a month or so after it'll pop up on Amazon, because I think the turnaround time for the Amazon Studios movies is slightly shorter than regular releases.
Gotcha.
Let's move on and talk about someone we're watching on the watch list. As I said, I was traveling this week, so I don't have a whole lot to talk about. I can talk about Isle of Dogs, though, because I don't know if you're going to see that whenever or not. That went wide this weekend.
It did.
So I'll talk about. I'm sure we'll talk about it again on the show, hopefully at some point. But I will say that I enjoyed Isle of Dogs. This is, if you're not familiar, the latest by Wes Anderson. It's the stop motion animated film. I will say that comparing it to Fantastic Mr. Fox, I liked it less than Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay.
I thought the Fantastic Mr. Fox was far more funny than Isle of Dogs. For some reason, I don't know what it was, but Isle of Dogs just. I mean, I laughed a handful of times, but I just didn't find it nearly. I didn't find the dialogue and the writing nearly as funny as, and same with the visual gags. Just didn't really find them. They didn't hit for me as hard as Fantastic Mr. Fox did. That being said, this does have the Wes Anderson trademark all over it. I mean, just you're very aware that this is a Wes Anderson film, and it looks gorgeous. The animation is top notch. I mean, holy shit. The faces and the movements of the dogs, just it's so realistic in their movements, and it's pretty mind-blowing how good the stop motion is with this movie. My favorite character was Tilda Swinton's character. She is a pug, and her name's the Oracle. She's the Oracle. She's definitely my favorite, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, I don't know, I had very high expectations, so I think that it didn't quite meet my expectations, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. So I'd recommend checking out Isle of Dogs.
This movie for me, I don't really have expectations. And even though it's a Wes Anderson film, just judging by the stop motion animation, which I'm a fan of, it looks great. I like the look of it. And the fact that it's just dogs, I just know that regardless if it's good or bad, I feel as though I'm just going to be happy watching it.
Right, and that's kind of the thing. I don't find the story to me was it was okay, but there was just enough little moments in there that just feel good moments that made me happy, and that's really all I could want.
There you go.
And also, it's PG-13, so it's not like a kids movie. And there were just a couple things that happened that was kind of surprising.
Huh. Well, I for one am looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I also watched something that I was looking forward to for the past several years, and that's
Here we go.
Andrew son, who's Where Is Kyra? Finally found the time to watch this. Unfortunately, it was long after I was supposed to watch it. But, so this is his, I think, third feature. I could be wrong. I think he has some documentaries in there too. But it's Michelle Pfeiffer, Kiefer Sutherland, all right? And it has, if you're familiar with his last movie, Mother of George, it has the same writer and the same cinematographer. So you have Bradford Young, who apparently still makes time for him, even though he's doing Star Wars movies now. And then Darcy P. Colt does the screenplay. Now, in Mother of George is a great screenplay, and it gave this fantastic opportunity for Danae Guerrera to have this unbelievable performance. And kind of the same thing here, where Michelle Pfeiffer does a fantastic job. She's absolutely phenomenal in this movie. The only issue with this is the narrative of it, the plot. Once it kind of just plateaus. Once it hits what she does in order to maintain her lifestyle, which isn't that great to begin with. Number one, she's older. She's not able to find a job. No one wants to hire her. She lives in New York. Her mother passes away, and she can't find income. She can't find any source of income. So she kind of does this this desperate attempt to make some money. And it works out, and she keeps doing it. So once that's kind of established, it just kind of repeats itself from there on out. It's just like her not wanting to do it, but she can't find anything, so she does it. Her not wanting to do it, but she can't find any income, so she does it. And it just keeps going and going. And it just becomes a bit repetitive after a while. Even though she is fantastic, even though Bradford Young's cinematography is great, it just becomes a bit stale after a while, which is rather unfortunate because it starts off really strong. I mean, you still have, it's still able to hold you here and there with the cinematography. Like, the ending shot of this movie is just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, unfortunately, it just kind of repeats itself after a while, which is a shame. But damn, Michelle Pfeiffer, fucking fantastic in this movie. So you should watch it at least for that. Yeah, that and Bradford Young never disappoints, really. At least to me.
No, me neither. He's amazing. All right, so that's where is it Kyra or Kira?
Kyra. Where is Kyra?
Okay. All right. I saw a movie called Happy Anniversary. This is a Netflix original. I watched this on the plane because, with Netflix you can download select things to your devices. So, before I got on the plane, I was like, I'm going to download some stuff to watch. And this was kind of the first thing I saw that I was like, I don't know, I'll give it a look. Seems like an okay plane watch. I don't want to, if I'm on a plane, I don't want to watch anything that I'm really excited about because it's on an iPad and I'm on a plane. It's, can't devote 100% of myself to it. So when I'm on planes, I'll watch movies that I wouldn't normally set aside time to watch.
Okay.
So this was the one that I chose, directed by Jared Stern. It's a romantic comedy with Noel Wells and Ben Schwartz. And I like both of them. I hated this movie, though. It is very bad. It is a very, very bad movie. In that it's exactly what you would expect from a Netflix romantic comedy. There's nothing to it. There's just nothing going on in this movie. It's about a couple who they break up on their third anniversary.
Okay.
And they break up on their third anniversary because Noelle Wells decides that she's not happy anymore. And then it sort of flashes back to different moments in their relationship. So it'll be good moments, and it'll be like fights that they got in and stuff. And then eventually, guess what? They are brought back together through a series of events.
What?
And it's just so humdrum and boring and not funny at all. And yeah, I cannot recommend this one. The only sort of saving grace to this movie is Joe Pantoliano's in it, and he plays Noel Wells' dad, and he's great in it. But man, everything else is just such a snooze fest. I really could not stand this movie. I really couldn't stand it.
You watched the whole thing?
I did. I watched the whole. It's only 78 minutes, so it's not even. It's not long.
At least it has the decency to be short. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so bland. Like, there's nothing special about it at all.
Yeah, this sounds awful. Just absolutely awful.
Just another Netflix manila folder.
Bunch of manila folders. They're just stacking them up over there. Just a bunch of fucking empty manila folders.
This is one of 900 new releases this year, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say at least 875 of those 900 are going to be nothing.
But the other thing that I like about them being able to throw out that number, that them being Netflix and the way that they roll out these movies, is they can say they're coming out with 900 original features. And you just kind of have to take the word for it. Because I bet you like 200 of them don't even exist. It's actually 700. But you're not going to be able to root through all the pages of Netflix to try and find all of them. No one's going to do that. So they can just throw out any number they want.
Yeah, it's funny. The what you call it? Lost in Space came out on Netflix this weekend. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of bored. Give that a look and see what that's all about. I had no expectations for it. I'm not interested in it, but I knew it came out, or at least I thought it did. And I go into my Netflix app on my iPad, and I can't find that fucker anywhere. I had to actually open up a search and search for it, and I was like, oh, it did come out.
I know that.
Which, by the way, I only caught the first episode of it, but it's pretty good. I mean, it is movie quality. It does not feel like a TV show, but I might actually watch more of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like it is. So many times I'll get on there and I can't find it fucking anywhere, and I have to do the same thing. You have to search for it. And it just seems
Which is utterly ridiculous. It seems so counterintuitive. Like, this is their original programming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can understand if they wanted to, like, I don't know, a kind of hide a competitor's movie or something that was on there. But, yeah, it's unbelievable.
But yet, they'll have, like, a whole row that just goes on forever. Like, super big boxes of, like, all their original stand-up comedy specials.
Yeah, or the whole, like, watch it again thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do I want to watch it again? I already watched it. Fuck you. Show me the new stuff. Show me the stuff that just came out. And then it'll be like, there's like that new release section that has stuff that's like 5 months old.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know you came out with like 100 things since that thing came out.
Yeah. It seems like they're slightly getting better at that, where they'll have the big thing at the top where it's like, we added, 67 new titles, and you can click on that and see what it is. But the new releases stuff is still a fucking nightmare.
Well, I just noticed, it was after I had to search for the Lost in Space thing. I noticed that on the iPad app, at least, there's like a little kind of hamburger menu that you can tap, and it will say there's like actually a section for Netflix originals now. You can tap that and it'll have like the newest ones at the top. So it seems like they are getting a little bit better with the organization, but
it shouldn't be that much of an issue. I just don't understand how it's so difficult with a lot of
I don't
these.
get it either.
Like, Netflix has that problem, and then if you have Filmstruck, they had like their website is just completely unnavigable because it's a fucking nightmare. It's awful, and it's just absolute shit. And it's like, how hard is it to make a nice, functional, highly functional website? Like,
and some of them have gotten worse. Like, some of them used to be good, and then they got shitty. Like, the Hulu Apple TV app is awful now. It used to be okay, but now it's so bad. I don't know what they're thinking with that Hulu app on Apple TV, at least. Now, I noticed on the Hulu website, if you log into your Hulu account and use the beta layout for Hulu, that's better. That's like significantly better. But that's just, I don't get it. I think Shudder does a pretty good job of their stuff. And I recently signed up for YouTube TV. I did a trial of that, and that's pretty good. Like, I'm very pleased with that layout. It's a good layout.
Yeah. I was able to check out, this has not come out yet. And I have a sneaking suspicion that it never will. So, not sure. But pretty sure it's never going to come out, which is a shame. But it's called Girls Always Happy. Now, the first astonishing thing is it's a fucking debut, which is, if you're able to see it, do it. It's incredible. I can't believe this is a debut, really. It's about 2 hours. It's Chinese. Debut from Yang Mingming. And she plays a woman like in her mid-20s or so that lives with her mom. Her mom is played by Nai An. And both of them do a fantastic job. And it's just this unbelievable kind of look at their mother-daughter relationship and how they kind of navigate the space of them but living with each other. And it's quick shifting where they're kind of bickering with each other, but it's kind of playful and they're kind of teasing each other. And then the next thing you know, they're trading barbs with each other and just fucking going at it. And it gets really emotional, but there's always this like through line of humor throughout the movie that they always kind of come back to, even though they kind of do get a little bit vicious with each other. Because more so, it just seems like they just kind of get sick of each other being in close quarters all the time. But man, it is remarkable. And it's a shame because I'm pretty sure probably not going to see it. Probably never going to come out. But man, I hope it does because it's phenomenal.
Hopefully it'll play more festivals, maybe.
I'm hoping. It played Berlin and I think Hong Kong. So hopefully it'll play a couple more and kind of pick up steam. But this is as I was watching it, my first thought was, damn, how did new directors, new films pass up this? Like, this is...
maybe it wasn't submitted.
Maybe not, but man, they should be out there looking for stuff, fuckers. Get out there, start searching shit.
I mean, the lineup this year, some of their things were a little questionable.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I'm just kind of getting like a little bit bitter, I think, with some of those things, and like with Can coming out, where it's like...
Did you see that lineup?
Well, it always seems like
what's going on?
It's the same fucking people all the time. Like, we only talk about like the same directors over and over again.
Well, the Cannes lineup is abysmal this year. At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
there's like 19 competition movies. That's it.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
Dolan, they accepted Dolan's new movie, and he said he didn't want to premiere it there. He pulled out, which is funny because I think pretty much all of his movies since his very first movie premiered there.
Yeah.
Almost all of them. I think there was like one or two that he actually didn't submit. But yeah, it's very, very weird. And I know it's like way too early for me to be talking about it, but Tribeca starts next week, and that lineup is not really wowing me either. Yeah. We've talked about it before as far as Asian films in American film festivals, specifically like the broader American film festivals. Now you have Asian film festivals that obviously are specifically those from that area, but
yeah,
you know, like the broader ones like Tribeca and Sundance and even South by Southwest, like they don't normally, usually there's like one Asian film in there. Yeah, you know, one or two. Like they don't put a lot in there,
which is wild. Like, and we're talking about Asian films. You're not even talking about like South Asian films, like, you know, Indian films and stuff. Like, they're not even represented at all.
That's even worse. Yeah,
it's just like this. Girls Always Happy. I don't normally do this. I'm not a fan of doing this, but it's a lot. Think of Lady Bird, but if Lady Bird was mid-20 something, it's a lot like that. but I think it's better.
You definitely have me intrigued, and that poster also has me intrigued because it is a really creepy poster.
It is a great poster, but the movie's not creepy at all. So don't get that. It's quite funny, but it's there's also that dramatic aspect to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on this. That's Girls Always Happy. Anything else for you before we move on?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Let's mosey on to new releases. So theaters this week we have And Then I Go, which is Justin Long's in that. I'm not super familiar with that. What you're going to see this week is not a whole lot. I think most things are getting out of the way for Avengers. That's going to be next week.
Oh, okay.
So I think this week is going to be light, and then next week is pretty much just Avengers. So we have And Then I Go. We got Super Troopers 2 coming out. I know a lot of people love Super Troopers. I hated that movie. And so naturally I have no interest in the sequel at all.
Yeah, no.
Just did not. It just didn't strike my fancy like so many other people. I'm not sure what it was, but I remember Ryan loved it and insisted that I watch it, and I watched it, and I was just like, nope, not for me. There was like that opening scene when they pull the kids, the like 20 somethings over, like that opening scene was funny, but the rest of the movie, it didn't grab me. Speaking of not funny, we have Amy Schumer's new movie, I Feel Pretty, coming out. This one does not look good at all.
Why is Amy Schumer still a thing?
I don't know. But this one just definitely does not. I saw a trailer for it and I was just like, nah. We've got Traffic coming out. This is I think Omar Epps is in it.
Oh yeah.
Looks pretty generic, actually. It doesn't look that great. Got Ghost Stories. Now this is one that I would recommend seeing. I love the marketing material for this movie, by the way. They have come out with some fantastic posters for this movie. If you look at the one on Rotten Tomatoes, it's particularly awesome. Yeah, I would definitely recommend seeing Ghost Stories. I believe that's going to be on VOD too, if I'm not mistaken. So check that out. It's a really interesting horror anthology that's based on a stage play.
Okay.
So yeah, give that a look. Got an animated film called Duck Duck Goose.
Oh boy.
Never heard of that at all. It's the first I'm reading that title. Kodachrome. It's with Jason Sudeikis and Ed Harris. This is a Netflix movie, so it's like about like Ed Harris plays this guy who has this old roll of film that he takes to the Kodak factory to get developed before it closes or something. And Jason Sudeikis plays his father. I mean, yeah, Jason Sudeikis plays his son, who accompanies him on the trip. So it's like a road trip movie, sort of. Not too into that. One that I am very interested in is the Devil and Father Amorth.
Oh,
this is the William Friedkin documentary about the real life priest who was the inspiration for The Exorcist. So very interested in this. Basically, William Friedkin follows this priest around, and he actually films one of his exorcisms. He's still a practicing exorcist in Rome, and he follows him to an actual exorcism, and really, really interested in seeing that. So very excited for that one. We have Little Pink House. That's with Catherine Keener. Not too familiar with what's going on in that movie, but it doesn't really look like it'd be my thing. A movie called Corbin Nash.
Corey Feldman, Malcolm McDowell.
Oh boy. Well, that's
Action.
all we need to know. Oh, right.
Action
Rutger Hauer's in it too.
Oh man.
Yeah. Not sure about that one.
You're gonna watch. I know you're gonna watch it next weekend. You're gonna be like,
maybe.
I
It's also
saw
Corbin Nash.
You're gonna be like,
Looks like it might be a
you're gonna love
vampire
this.
thing.
Yep, it looks like the plot keywords are police, friendship, violence, female nudity, vampire. Tagline: there's a new player in town.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it for theaters. So not a whole lot going on.
Hold up, Corbin Nash is coming to theaters.
According to this, yes, it is. But I don't know. Maybe it might be one theater. I have not received any emails about it, so I don't know anything about this thing. It seems like one that would be ending up on VOD as well, but I cannot confirm that. Speaking of VOD, got a couple things. Got a couple Monday releases. So tomorrow, the 16th, we got Opening Night and I Am Evidence. I Am Evidence is a documentary on HBO about rape kits in the United States and how there's this insane backlog of rape kit testing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very fascinating documentary. It's produced by Mariska Hargitay, and I would recommend checking that out if you have HBO. Opening Night is some sort of comedy with Topher Grace and looks like Rob Riggle's in there too. That does not. I don't know too much about that. Then on Tuesday we have Russian Doll, which is some sort of thriller.
Uh-huh.
We got #Screamers. It sounds.
Screamers.
Guys, don't use hashtags in your movie titles. It's done. We're done with that.
Screamers. Wait, from 2016?
Probably, yeah. It's two internet gurus investigate the authenticity of a series of #Screamers videos.
Oh, they're confronted with havoc in hell they could never expect.
Yeah. Doesn't look great. And we also have Tempest Tormentum, which is another horror film. Not too familiar with that. Maybe looks like maybe a slasher. People, it looks like sort of a Strangers sort of rip off maybe. People getting hunted by psychopaths that one of them's dressed as a clown and somebody named Slashmouth. Slashmouth.
Yeah. Slashmouth.
And then on the 20th, we have Kodachrome. That's all I got for VOD. Let's check out what's coming out on Blu-ray this week. This is for April 17th. We got The Post coming out. That's the Spielberg one. I'd recommend checking that out. I don't know if it's worth buying, but I enjoyed it. Got The Commuter. That's the Liam Neeson action movie that looks incredibly generic. Here's a big one. We got The Skulls from 2000. I feel like every couple of months, The Skulls gets a new release. It's just one of those random movies. There's like just certain movies that seem to always get released. Like out of all the thousands of movies, The Skulls always ends up getting released and re-released.
Is The Skulls like a... Is that like a big cult classic? I know I don't ever
maybe it is. Maybe it is.
But I also never see anyone discussing The Skulls.
No, you don't see it too much.
Are they just desperately trying to make it a thing?
I feel like it's too new to be a cult classic. I mean, it did come out in 2000. It's 18 years old, but I feel like cult classics are usually older. Takes more time, but I don't know. Maybe it's turning into one. I thought that movie was a piece of shit. Now there's no way that I don't think it contains anything that could make it a cult classic.
I love plot keywords for IMDb because for The Skulls from 2000, the plot keyword, the number one plot keyword is released in 2000 on USA. Like, is that a major plot point? That it was released in the year 2000 on US?
God.
And by, I don't understand the on USA. Like, is that a typo? Is it supposed to be in USA? Or was this released on the USA
channel?
network? Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I doubt that it would be on USA in the same year that it originally came out.
I love it. That's a major plot point of the Skulls.
Okay. That's the Skulls. Arrow is putting out the Seijun Suzuki. This is a collection. It's the Early Years Volume 2.
Okay.
And let me see if I can find
Hell yes.
what movies are in this thing. So it's includes a bunch of titles. These are his crime and action movies, including 8 Hours of Terror, The Sleeping Beast Within, Smashing the O-Line from 1960, Tokyo Nights from 1961, and then The Man with a Shotgun from 1961.
Hell yeah.
I was going to buy that Arrow edition of Deep Red.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $50. And I was just like, man, I'll get it at some point. But
Damn.
I'm going to hold off for a little bit. And it's a limited edition too. So I think that it's one of those deals where once it sells out, it's only going to be available on eBay and it's going to be worth even more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might pick that up because I've been hankering to rewatch some Deep Red. Got Camp Nowhere from 1994. I feel like we had Ryan watch that at some point, maybe.
It sounds familiar.
Deep Blue Sea 2, which is interesting because I could have sworn Deep Blue Sea 2 came out like a while ago, like when the first Deep Blue Sea came out, like maybe a year or two later. But no, this is new. This just came out in 2018.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. When did Deep Blue Sea come out? I feel like that was like early 2000s.
Huh.
I was a fan of Deep Blue Sea. I thought it was just campy and fun enough where it was like, it didn't take itself too seriously, but it wasn't like Sharknado levels of camp.
Yeah.
1999 was the original Deep Blue Sea. And I don't know if you saw the trailer for The Meg, or the poster, which is a fantastic poster for The Meg. Love it. But man, I'm excited for that movie. I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be the next Piranha, not Piranha 3 Double D. The original Piranha 3D, which was incredible. All right, we got The Egg and I from 1947 getting a Blu-ray release. I just read that title because it sounds interesting. The Egg and I.
The Egg and I.
Yeah.
Chester Erskine.
Got Autofocus from 2002.
Oh,
Autofocus.
Yeah. I remember that one.
That's going to be out on Twilight Time. So that's Twilight Time release.
Okay.
I was a big fan of that one. I think you were too. We both love some autofocus.
I don't remember a goddamn thing from that movie.
I remember very little. Very little. A Taxi Driver from 2017 is coming out. I was a big fan of that one. That's the South Korean film.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got here. Captain Corelli's Mandolin from 2001.
Hell
Classic
yeah.
Nick Cage. Day of the Reaper from 1984 coming out. Not familiar with that one. It's a horror movie. Looks like a slasher. That's pretty much it for notable releases. What do we have as far as criterions this week?
We got two. We have Lou McCary's The Awful Truth from 1937 with Cary Grant. Apparently this is the role that defined Cary Grant. So you got that. And then you also have The Color of Pomegranates from 1969, which I must say, the cover for the criterion for The Color of Pomegranates is absolutely wonderful. Might be the best of the year so far from Criterion. Whoever did that, bravo.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it now. It's pretty awesome.
Love it.
All right. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to feedback@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet, @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.